Hey, welcome to the Backwoods Gourmet. Today we got a competition Dutch oven dish for you, so y'all stay tuned. So, till a few years back, I didn't even know there was Dutch oven competitions. It's very popular in Texas, especially around some other places in the Southeast. They have clubs, everything else, and everybody gets together, and they actually have a world championship Dutch oven competition. All right. No, we're not going to get into that, but I am going to show you a winning world championship competition dish today. So today's dish, the name that I've found for it is Dutch Oven Chicken Fantasy, okay? It starts out, these two large chicken breasts with the skin on, deboned. I split them and cut them into the larger piece into two chunks. So we have 6 pieces of chicken, of chicken breast. So the first thing we're gonna do is go ahead and give it our favorite seasoning. Of course, you know we're not going to use the original recipe. We never do around here, and I really encourage you guys to use our recipe only as a guide. You know, if there's items in here that you don't like to eat, you know, Mrs. Backwoods hates peppers. There are going to be a few in here. Don't tell her or she won't eat it. But we're going to go ahead and change up the original recipe. And, you know, we're not cooking for the judges here. We're cooking to make a delicious dish. And if this was good enough to win the world championships, it's got to be good, right? All right, so a little bit of Seminole Swamp seasoning. I got a little extra moisture in the bottom of this bowl. So I'm going to go ahead and drain that off, and then we'll go ahead and dredge these in some flour. Okay, we drained that little bit of liquid that was off in there. These were kind of a little frozen when I was cutting them a little while ago. We already got our coals going over there on the Dutch oven table. So we're just going to go ahead and just toss these in the flour and get them nicely dredged. So today's dish is a pretty advanced recipe, and I'm hoping that some of you guys that have been learning along with us here on the channel are ready to get a little more complicated with your Dutch oven cooking. Today we're going to start out with a big pile of coals. We need some frying heat. We've got our 12-inch Lodge Dutch oven up on there. We'll put about a ½ inch of oil in the bottom. We'll let that come up to heat, and then we're going to brown the chicken. And you're also going to need 2 Dutch ovens for this to make it easier. You can do it with 1 Dutch oven, but you're going to have to take this chicken back out of here and keep it on the side, and then and put it back in later, and that'll work also. So since we do have 2 Dutch ovens, the other pile of coals over here, I'm going to go ahead and set my 10-inch on here. Doesn't really matter, with 10 or 12. It's going to work just fine. And we're going to get some of our sauce started over in this pot while this one's getting ready. So into our 10-inch, that's already getting hot, there is pineapple juice from 1 can of chunk pineapple, the juice from 1 can of mandarin oranges, and 1 cup of maraschino cherry juice. All right, stay with me, guys. To that, we're going to add about a tablespoon of soy sauce. I like to use the lower sodium kind. And then we're going to squeeze into that the juice of the whole lime. That'll be about a 1/4 cup. And we'll go ahead and let that come up to a boil, and then we'll start seasoning it. All right, so while that's coming up to a boil, let's get our chicken ready to go over here in a 12. We had our dredged chicken sitting there for a little while, chilling out. So I'm going to go ahead and start dropping that in. Our sauce over here on the side, it's just about to come up to a bubble. And we're going to go in with about a half a teaspoon of ground ginger and a quarter teaspoon or so, maybe a little more, paprika, and a half teaspoon of salt. I'm going to put some chicken broth in this later, so we don't want to put too much salt in it up front. Put a little stir, and make sure all that gets dissolved in there. So the next thing going into all this fruit juices is about a half a cup of sweet and sour sauce. That's going to bring in some sugar and some really unique flavor. That sauce is coming up to a simmer, so I'm going to go ahead and add a little cornstarch just to thicken it a bit. Now that's going to take a little of the simmer out of it to begin with, but it is going to start making it more like a glaze. Nice. All right, so now that's bubbling. Going in with half a cup of maraschino cherries, a small can of mandarin oranges segments, and about 1 cup of chunk pineapple. We're just going to give it a little stir in there. Wow, it almost looks like we're making a pie, don't it? Let that come back up to a bubble. We'll add the rest. All right, guys, looks like our chicken is ready to turn. Go ahead and turn those over nice and golden brown. Been a very gloomy, rainy day here so far, so charcoal is not as hot as normal. And you're gonna have to deal with that, whether you're doing a competition or just cooking in camp. That looks awesome. The sauce has come back up to a bubble. Now you have several other ingredients to put in. That is about a cup of diced orange bell pepper. It's about 3/4 of a cup of sweet red onion diced. A cup of diced celery. A cup of sliced water chestnuts. Find those all in the Asian aisle. And a cup of diced carrots. Let's go ahead and give them a nestle down in all that goodness. And our chicken is getting to just about ready. So let's go ahead and give this a simmer. Let it come back up, and we'll show you the next steps. All right, that chicken looks pretty done to me. I'm gonna go ahead and take the pieces out right over here on a plate with a paper towel. Then we're going to drain off this oil, and we're going to put them back in and deglaze the pot. Pot's back on. We drained off the excess oil. Got just a little bit of chicken stock. Put in a little bit of thyme because you don't got a lot of heat in there. We want to make that steam. That's going to make that boil real quick, and that's going to raise the fond. If you just put it all in there at one time, it won't do as good. So let me know if you guys are liking the camera angle, the new camera angle we have here. We're able to actually get a new camera, and so you see everything I see. I know sometimes our stationary cameras don't catch everything. So we got that deglazed. I'm gonna go ahead and put all our chicken pieces right back in there. I'm just gonna dump them in. All right, Now we're going to do some magic. Move my Dutch oven off of that big pile of coals right over there on the 4 coals. Okay, and we're going to get the lid, and we're just going to like skip every other coal like we normally do a full ring. We're just going to put them up there, skipping where one coal should be, and I'm going to try to grab some of the ones that are still full size, because this is going to steep in that juices for another hour. So just like that, we'll scoot the rest of these back. We're going to let that go an hour. Keep an eye on it. Stir it every once in a while. All right, so it's been about an hour. You see these coals are all burnt down to almost nothing. We're using Stubbs all natural charcoal today. It's about the best I've found for these long cooks like this, an hour. So I'm gonna shake them off, put the lid back on, and we'll go ahead and take this off. All right, so this is done. Steaming hot pot. I'm gonna go ahead and bring over chicken breast with that sauce. Oh my God, that is really colorful. All right, we're gonna have to clean that plate up just a little bit. For garnish, it's coming in with a little bit of some scallions right from the garden there, chopped on a bias. And doesn't that look like a festive holiday meal? Backwoods Gourmet style. Asking us to taste our food. Don't know why. Let's go ahead and give that chicken a try. I'm gonna say wow. Use a little salt for me, but you can always do that at the end. Let's try some of the veg here. That's really special. So I can see why this won the World Dutch Oven Championships back, about 30 years ago. But hey, it might be worth trying for your next holiday meal or special occasion. So give it a shot and let us know how you do. That's good stuff right there.